So here's the secret. I am not perfect. Here we go. That's the truth. I have to admit that no matter how many times I repeated to myself that I was looking for perfection, it is quite disappointing to myself that I'm not perfect. But by accepting it, I have liberated myself from so much burden. So much burden. I can remember being very young and asked to do so many things. Not only to do so many things, but to do them really well, really good, to be attentive to it, to be perfect, to be smart, to be fast, to be everything. And I tried and I tried, and the more I tried, the less perfect I was, and the more I kept on trying. It was like that little hamster going around the wheel, and the more I went around, the more I would get a reward. And that's the key. I was being rewarded by something outside of myself. The motivation was not coming from within. It was always a hey babe, or I bet you can do better. And there was always a comparison. So and so and so can do better than you, or you can do better than so and so and so. So it was always the target outside of myself. Very, very rarely I realized that there was something inside of me, because I never even had no idea. I had no idea that there could be some space inside of me where nothing needed to be pushed, nothing needed to be bribed, nothing didn't to resist. It was just pure endurance. So I'm going to talk about endurance. Just the word itself, it means duration. It means like holding on to something hard, making it last for a while and be strong. Yeah. I can have a lot of endurance, but do I have to always do it like that? Do I always have to just go further, harder, bigger to attain what? An ideal that is not even my own ideal, but something has been projected on me? Well. How does it feel to ask for assistance? Well, I was ashamed to ask for assistance because that meant I was not perfect. That meant I didn't do my best. That meant that I was not trying my hardest. So therefore, I did everything by myself. But so much anger was heating up inside of myself. Because the more I tried harder, the less I was feeling complete. There was no such a thing. So as a child, I was motivated to excel. And I also learned the language of manipulation. So this full moon is all about recognizing that parts of ourselves when we're not perfect. Yes, of course, we can try to tune into something that it works. We can try to discern and separate what it works from what it doesn't work. But that doesn't mean that we always have to be judging and discriminating every single thing just to obtain something that is outside of ourselves. How about giving some space to what is really needed inside? It could be a cuddle. It could be a smile. It could be just hanging out and doing nothing. How about that? There was something else that came up. When was the first time I said no? A lot of people have a hard time saying no. I don't think I ever had a hard time about saying no. No was my default. No, I don't want to do that. No, I don't think so. But then something was missing. I took so much pride of being able to say no that I forgot to take care of me all the other times when I needed to just leave space for myself. Because I was so happy about receiving that feedback, even like just noting how people will feel when I say no, that I could state my boundaries. But here I am, trying to recognize the difference between resisting and enduring. You see, when there's resistance, there's this energy that you use in order to push things away. But when you endure, you can actually just with time and space be able to sustain whatever is needed. So the insight about this coming weeks is, what was it that you were really paying attention to back in September? I remember when I made the list, a very Virgo thing to do. I made the list of all the things that I wanted to commit myself to. I made the list about the things I was going to completely look up in front and say, I'm going to let go. And I have to say that I've been really good. Not perfect, but really good, because I was precise about what I wanted to do. And there's certain things that have surprised me, though, that were not in the list, and they were actually very beautiful. I allowed myself to be recognized by other people. I allowed myself to be given the space that I needed in order to just do nothing. Just be. So this full moon is very charged also, because we're living in times right now where we don't know what's really happening. So I would just say, take one foot, put it on the ground, and make sure that you can feel the ground. Wiggle that foot. Make sure you're not wearing any shoes so you can actually feel the ground. And then put your hand on your heart and know that whatever you do with your heart will always be something that you really want and is good for you. And then look up in the sky and know that the spirit is always connected to the ground. And the spirit is what really makes us be alive and feel love, compassion, and even to have dreams about being living in this world right now, despite all the horrors we're able to witness. I choose to dream, I choose to sing, I choose to laugh, I choose to create. That's what I choose.
So what is really a full moon? The body of the moon has no light in itself. When it's full, there's a full reflection from the sun. You know, the moon reflects our persona, how we see ourselves. That image that one has of oneself when we look in the mirror, that's our moon. And the sun is that spark, that potential for awakening. It's that potential for living with joy, from living from the heart. And this full moon is reflecting that all the things that one sees as being perfect, or this unattainable ideal, is just reflecting the fact that we ought to even forgive ourselves for not being so perfect. The perfection lies in the fact that we recognize in the awareness that life is as is. You just look at life. You live your life. You feel your life. You embody your life. And that's life. Trying to correct what is. Trying to judge what is. Trying to alter what we see and what we feel is always going to lead us down the path of unhappiness. So what about going back to the source where the light is, and knowing that, but just surrendering to life as it is, lies all the creative potential of being. I can choose life, I can choose joy, I can choose creativity. That's what I choose every morning. If you look at the world as it is right now, and you look at yourself, and you say, what can I do? What can I do? Well, I can say, how can I serve? How can I be? How can I be me? How can I bring the best out of me every day, all the time? Not the best as in I am perfect and there's nothing wrong, but more like I am serving with all my might. So this full moon closes 6 months that started last September, and I do remember exactly what I wrote. I was making a commitment towards myself so I could elevate the space and to just attract any kind of situation, person, or thing that will be elevated and have the same kind of compromise that I have with my own evolution. And so it happened. I have really noticed how much more connected I am to that empty space that I give myself in order to be, and less connected to the feedback that I had created among relationships to feel good about myself. It was always a very codependent relationship towards the world. There's a big upgrade right now, and I'm full of joy about it. It's a little bit nervous because I have not been here before. But that nervousness is also filled with curiosity and willingness to go and explore. And I'm willing to just shine that light forward. Blessings to everybody.